this budget allocation is just about very minimal. If you keep in mind that annual inflation about 4.5 to 5%, what is actually available is a very minimal gain vis-a-vis the last year. And if you do keep in mind the emerging geopolitical scenario, you do keep in mind the increasing aggressiveness of the Chinese, you do keep in mind the unresolved border with Pakistan and China, you do keep in mind the increasing collusiveness that is beginning to take place between Pakistan and China and the possibility of a joint threat. And also if you do keep in mind the huge amount of hollowness in the Indian army and lack of modernization, the budget is not very inspirational. It just about gives you sufficient amount of money to do the very minimal. This statement notwithstanding, in the previous 2.5 years, the defense deals that this government has struck are almost twice the amount what the previous government did in 10 years. To that extent, everything that is needed for modernization and strengthening of the Indian nation, the government is giving a look-see. If you notice, the largest ever allocation has been made for infrastructure development, which is indicative of the fact that the government is aware of the fact that in our border areas, the infrastructure is totally pathetic. Railway lines, important roads that ought to have come up years back have mostly been on paper and nothing very much has come on ground. It is quite obvious that this is going to be given a huge amount of push as far as railway lines is concerned and as far as road infrastructure is concerned. Similarly, forward ALGs are being made, forward helipads are being made. In the last 3 years, out of the capital acquisition allocation, close to 33,000 crores have been surrendered. This is something that is no longer affordable. It should be an add-on or roll-on so that this money is available for you to quickly make up the hollowness. You want to modernize the Air Force. There are almost 11 squadrons which need retirement. Almost 400 helicopters need retirement. Your submarine fleet is down to the dumps. 50% or 40% of the fleet is very old. Same is the status, if you notice, as far as the man behind the machine is concerned. On the Republic Day, what everybody should have noticed, that the UAE soldier was far better equipped both in terms of kitting and as far as the personal weaponry that he had, as against India, which is an emerging superpower. So even an emerging power which wishes to carve out a niche for itself in the Asia-Pacific region, you have to be appropriately equipped. The soldier is not kitted properly, he doesn't have the appropriate type of helmet, he does not have the appropriate type of personal weaponry. Artillery needs a huge amount of boost. Well, under the Make in India, you're wanting to bring in modern Pinakas, modern Dhanush, modern 8080 that gun. You're wanting to bring in more Bhishma tanks of our own. Similarly, there is a huge amount of other necessities in terms of thermal image devices, handheld radars, handheld missile systems. All this notwithstanding, the government is giving a lot of push to force multipliers. Pakistan GDP ours is almost a $1 trillion economy. Pakistan in contrast is a minimal economy. So even if Pakistan spends 5 to 6% of its GDP on defense, it is minuscule of what is we spending. Hence Pakistan is not something to be really worried or reckoned about. We in the armed forces call Pakistan a friendly or a brother enemy whose ability to do mischief or to damage to India is minuscule vis-a-vis that of China. While our defense budget is inched up to around $50 billion annually, Chinese declared budget is around $200 billion. And this differential between India and China has been to the tune of $150 to $200 billion annually for the last about 30 to 35 years. So we've got to close this gap. We've got to increase our defense allocation. Because there is absolutely no possibility of closing this gap, what we are emphasizing on is additional force multipliers. the type of helicopters that we wanting to purchase, the type of aircraft that we wanting to purchase, the type of missile that we wanting to induct are specifically now catered for to take on the larger threat from China. That is why Agni 4, Agni 5, the K4 missiles, the K15 missiles, the BrahMos missiles, and the Chinook helicopters and the Apache helicopters, the Rafale aircraft and the Tejas, etc. Everything that you are inducting is primarily to boost your potential in a significant manner in the Himalayas, both against the western enemy, the northern enemy, as well as the